Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something a little different, but yet the same. I had some leftover blueberries from something that I was using them for, and I decided to make blueberry muffins with them. This is more of an informal video, so I wanted to show you from the beginning to the end what I usually do when I make something at home. And so I cleared off the stove, wiped it down, grabbed my ingredients. I pulled the blueberries out of the freezer because I had them from last week and I didn't want to use them yet, so I just threw them in the freezer for keeping. I pulled out a box of white cake mix, a mixing bowl, and a muffin tin for my muffins. Before we get too much further, if you like the content or this video in particular on my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button at the bottom right hand corner of your screen. That way I can continue making videos that you guys like in particular. After reading the directions on the back of the cake mix box, I go ahead and pull out my ingredients. This called for 3 eggs, oil, and water in addition to the cake mix. Yes, I know I haven't added the eggs yet, but I wanted to go ahead and get some of these ingredients incorporated before throwing in the eggs. So here's the eggs, 1, 2, and 3. Now that the eggs are in, I'm going to go ahead and whisk everything together and make sure everything is well incorporated. So yes, my house is lived in and we live in this house. So yes, there are dishes in the sink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse my blueberries really thoroughly. And for the ones that are going into my muffins, I'm going to make sure all of the stems are removed from the blueberries. Now that those are ready, I'm going to remix my ingredients together, make sure they're still fully incorporated, and grease my pan. This particular muffin pan doesn't require greasing, but I never trust that, so I go ahead and make sure that I spray some Pam in each of those muffin spots. Now, the general rule of thumb when filling your muffin pan is to do 2/3 full or less, just because muffins do rise and they tend to overflow and create a larger muffin top. Now, if you like muffin tops, go ahead and start filling them a little fuller, but I knew I needed to fill them a little less because I was adding blueberries. So here I'm just adding 2 to 3 blueberries on the top of each, and then I'm going to push those down into each of the muffins so that the juices leak out into the muffins when they cook. I'm going to put it in the oven that I already had preheated to 350 degrees, and I turned it around so that everything cooks evenly. I had quite a bit of batter left and also blueberries, so I wanted to make a blueberry, I would say loaf. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a compote with the remaining blueberries. So I'm going to put the blueberries in a saucepan, add a little bit of sugar, and put it on medium to low heat. For the sake of time in this video, I cut out a lot of the portions of this video when it came to creating the compote. So this compote took about 10 minutes, a good 10 minutes for the blueberries to break down and to start forming a nice syrupy finish. I did add a little bit more sugar halfway through just to give the blueberries a little bit more extra edge. And as they started cooking, I started to, I guess, pop them to get the juices out and to get them moving. I'm not going to actually use the blueberry meat, and so I'm fine with, really breaking down these blueberries because all I want really is the juice. It never fails when I'm cooking. I always get some kind of piranhas eating at my heels, and so in this case it was the cats. So they got fed while those blueberries were breaking down. And just for some of you who may question it, I did wash my hands. So now that the cats are fed, these blueberries are looking really delicious. I know that they're done when the juice is not runny, but more syrupy. Now that these blueberries are done, it's time to strain them. So get a fine mesh strainer and pour the blueberries through the strainer into a bowl. So we want the juice to go through the strainer and catch the meat and seeds in the strainer itself. And so you're gonna see me kind of pushing on these blueberries just to get as much juice and as much goodness as I can. Now that the juice is strained, I'm going to go ahead and prep my container for my loaf. And so I'm going to add half of the batter that was in my bowl into the container, and then add some juice, then add the other half, and then add the rest of my juice. And then I'm going to marble it. I'm sorry that this is kind of out of shot. I did not realize it when I was filming that I had this a little out of shot, but you'll get a good finished shot once it's done. Marble it, you want to take a knife or something really skinny, and like a toothpick or even a chopstick, and you can just move the juice back and forth in the pan, and you'll see it start to mix and incorporate with the batter itself. Now, I did not put it so deep far down that the juice would hit the bottom, so this is only going to be the top half of the loaf that's going to have that marbled look. So I'm going to stick that in the oven, and while I'm in there, I'm going to check my muffins, and the knife came out clean. So I wanted the muffin tops to brown just a little bit more before taking them out. While I'm waiting for those muffin tops to brown, I'm going to use this opportunity to clean my stove top. You notice that I am actually using an oven mitt to clean the stove top because that heating element is still warm. Muffins are now done, so I'm going to bring them out and put them on the stove top. I'm also going to prep a bowl with a hand towel in it to put the muffins in. For me, it's kind of nostalgic, as muffins always went into a bowl with a towel, and I find that they are served best in that setting. I do use a spoon as opposed to any other utensil, as it's easier to pull the muffins out of the pan. That they're done, here is the final shot of a nice hot blueberry muffin. But wait, there's more. Don't forget, we have that beautiful blueberry cake in the oven, and it is now ready to come out after 30 minutes. Again, to be sure this is done, you can go ahead and poke it with a clean knife, and if the knife comes out clean or the toothpick comes out clean, then it's done. I also take that knife and run it along the edges just to release the loaf from the pan itself. And now it's time to cut it and taste it. Once cut, I'm going to use a spatula to loosen it up and to pull that piece out of the pan. And here you go, a beautiful blueberry cake. You can serve both of these warm with cold milk to go with it, and it's perfect for any late night treat. Want to see more? Subscribe here to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications so you are notified every time I drop a video. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the latest updates and paintings. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.